guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And it's time for our daily Terminator Dark Fate video because we've been talking about...
Why do you saying daily everything?
Daily everything. Because I've done like 2 or 3 Terminator videos in the last couple of days, but it's a train wreck.
Yeah, every time I try to turn around, something else comes out that makes it like, what?
Oh my god, so now the MarySue, to stay relevant, is stoking the fires with We Went There, a feminist interpretation of Terminator Dark Fate, Hasta La Vista Man Babies. This is beyond parody. This is the MarySue trying to stay in business.
I love it. They admit flat out the movie sucked, but it's a feminism, glorious feminism, something.
It's a glory hole of feminism.
There you go, glory hole feminism.
So there we go. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how, maybe the director should have listened to James Cameron and there would have been a different movie that Terminator fans may have actually liked.
Like maybe you should listen to George Lucas or Mark Hamill or, those people, and maybe there have been Star Wars movies that people, didn't hate.
That is possible. Sometimes when you listen to the creators of the franchises, you might actually, get a little wisdom that helps you make a sequel that justifies its own existence. I don't know, who knows? So before we get into that, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We hit 70,000 subs this week. We're hoping for 100,000 soon. Soonish.
Hopefully.
Soonish.
Make sure you're still subbed.
Yeah, make sure you're still subbed. They had a purge this month on YouTube, and I know a bunch of you complained that you'd been unsubbed, and we did not unsub you. We don't want to get rid of our subs, but you're going to have to
don't
check.
know what happened
Make
there.
sure and check.
Just resub.
So before we get into this ridiculous MarySue article, because every article on the MarySue is ridiculous these days, IndieWire, James Cameron says Terminator Dark Fate editing was a bloodbath of creative differences. And this was a couple days before the movie came out and bombed. And it's interesting because James Cameron, who said that director Tim Miller, is very, very difficult to work with. Tim Miller was fired from Deadpool 2. They never explained why, but I think Ryan Reynolds felt he was also very, very difficult to work with. Now, James Cameron is being a little more politically correct here because this is before the movie actually opened and failed.
But he knew it was going to.
I think he knew it was going to, but he also pointed out that, you know what? He got along really, really well with Robert Rodriguez, and they made Alita, and you know what? Fans loved Alita. And maybe
but the media didn't.
The media didn't. But maybe if they listened to James Cameron, if Tim Miller listened to James Cameron, Terminator Dark Fate could have been a decent movie that, it had all the pieces. We had Linda Hamilton, Arnold Schwarzenegger. There was talk of Eddie Furlong. We had James Cameron involved. It should have been a slam dunk. The first time that the gang got together since Terminator 2, and they blew it. They blew it to the tune of $120 million they're going to lose on this thing. Lot. So he talked about how it was pretty rough. Cameron told Cinema Blend, you saw Miller's rough cut at the start of the year, and it was pretty rough. It was pretty long. The movie transformed in the editing room as Cameron worked with Miller and producer David Ellison to find the best film that could emerge from the rough cut.
Oh my God. How can we make this the least ugly thing we've ever seen? What can we fix? What will surgery correct? The rest of it, we can't do anything.
This is probably what's going on with The Rise of Skywalker right this very moment.
I'm 100% sure.
They're furiously working in the editing room to find the best film they can get out of the rough cut of this dumpster fire of a movie. So it wasn't a slam dunk at the time, Cameron said, the rough cut. I felt there were a lot of pathways that were taken that were unnecessary.
Yeah. Feminism. Anyway.
I'm an editor myself, so I gave notes that were both broad and very specific. I continued in that process up to about 2.5 months ago when we locked the picture down. I never went to the set. I've yet to physically meet the new cast because I never went to the set. But I was very involved in the writing and I was very involved in the cutting of the film, and to me the cutting is really an extension of the writing. While Cameron said Miller was always involved in the editing process, the Titanic and Avatar director did not sugarcoat the process of reworking Miller's rough cut. When asked by Cinema Blend if there were disagreements during the Dark Fate editing process, Cameron teased that at times it became a bloodbath. I would say many disagreements, and the blood is still being scrubbed off the walls from those creative battles. This is a film that was forged in fire, so yeah, that's a creative process, right? But then he talks highly about Alita. He said Cameron had a similar role on Dark Fate as he did on Robert Rodriguez's Alita Battle Angel, which opened in theaters earlier in the year. Cameron was a producer who was heavily involved, but he said that his collaboration with Rodriguez was far smoother. My work with Robert on Alita was very different. Basically, he listened. Robert loved the script, loved everything. He said, I just want to make the movie. I want to make the movie the way that you see it. And I was like, you got to make it your movie. I had the reverse experience with Tim, which is Tim wanted to make it his movie. And I'm like, yeah, but I kind of know a little bit about this world. Yes.
Yeah.
He freaking built this world.
James Cameron, I don't always agree with James Cameron. Sometimes I think he's an arrogant little tool sometimes. But in this case, he would know, wouldn't he?
He would know. So, look, we don't know. And I think in the coming months and years, we will find out more about what went wrong with this movie. Obviously the whole premise, I think, was bullshit, and that's not what fans wanted, but it probably could have been a more polished turd had Tim Miller actually listened.
A little bit shinier of a turd. A
shinier turd had Tim Miller actually listened to James Cameron, who created these characters in the first place. Might just be, like they should have listened to George Lucas. They maybe should have taken his outlines, not just threw them in.
What does he know about Star Wars?
What's he know about Star Wars? What's he know about Star Wars?
Cameron know about Terminator. My gosh.
My God. So, yes, a bloodbath of creative differences. We're going to hear more about this, I'm sure.
I'm sorry. I can't help it. I have to laugh. I keep hearing bloodbath of creative differences, and everybody's going on how feminist this movie is. I get a totally different image, and I got to tell you. But that's coming from a woman, so... When I hear bloodbath of creative differences in a movie that's failing because it's too over the top feminist, I just yeah.
It's the creative flow.
There's a flow. Flow comes to mind. Anyway,
a creative flow. So the MarySue, you wanted to sit on this because of?
Well, yeah, because what's trending? Why can't we put a hot take on it, try to get hits? Terminator, but we can't. No, it's a shitty movie, but the feminist interpretation is
Hasta la vista, man babies.
No, I don't think the man babies care. You can have this one.
They didn't show up.
They don't care. You can have it.
You can have this
They're
one.
Giving it to you. You know what? So it's all yours.
God, and then we're going to get more of the same. Birds of Prey is going to be a feminist film, says Ian McGregor. Okay, first things first, I need to be upfront and say that Terminator Dark Fate is not a very good movie. In fact, it's actually pretty bad.
So it's a feminist icon.
Oh my God.
It's a feminism glory hole, but it's a shitty movie.
Yeah, after viewing it, my friend pointed out that with each new failed attempt to reboot the franchise, Dark Fate was supposed to be the start of a new trilogy. Yeah, they've actually had 3 attempts to reboot Terminator, but they thought they were going to get this one right. They got James Cameron back, but Tim Miller didn't listen to him.
But you know what? But this is what is this? Let's be honest here. It is basically the Terminator movie, but you're just gender swapping everyone.
Well, here we go. The story feels lazy, blah, blah, blah. They talked about CGI being bad, but it is fun in the way that bad action films are fun.
It's fun in the way that a tooth drilling is fun.
And it provides us with a really important thing to examine, namely an action film centered around 3 badass women of varying ages kicking all kinds of butt. So what I am here to present you with is not so much a review, but rather a feminist reading of Terminator Dark Fate.
You basically took the original Terminator film and just gender swapped everyone in it, except for Linda Hamilton. But now she likes girls too, apparently.
That was a headline. Again.
I'm just like, that's all you did. There is no creativity in this again. I mean, this is... Seriously? We can't have about a man being the chosen one. We gotta go kick him off. We gotta go drag out Terminator again so we can kill off the dude and make it about women.
So
like
here
we did with The Last Jedi. Anyway.
Yeah, pretty much. Isn't that a trend? Like, let's kill off the male heroes and then have...
As a woman, I'm insulted. You don't think women can carry stories on their own without having to be like taking a property that's established and gender swapping everyone out? That's what's going to carry it?
I mean, the thing is that Linda Hamilton was the protagonist.
That's what I'm saying. It's always been a feminist show.
It's always been, but then but the whole thing was leading up to John Connor, and then by taking John Connor out of it,
because he's a man. Ew.
Yeah. So now
we just have to put this new Hispanic girl in for no reason whatsoever, other than the fact that she's Hispanic.
So from what I gather from this article, because let me read this here. What I gather from this article is the movie failed at the box office, but it passed the Bechdel test, and that's all that matters.
You know my opinion of the Bechdel test.
The 3 women are diverse in age, ethnicity, and appearance. I really can't tell you how exciting it was for me to see a young Latina woman, a tall, shout out to my fellow tall women, androgynous woman, and a woman in her 60s with little to no plastic surgery fighting together and kicking robot ass. First sentence. First couple sentence. Dark Fate's not a very good movie, but it does have representation. And that's all that matters.
Diverse in age, ethnicity. Because, you know, God, I can't even touch. I'm a woman. I think this is the biggest load of garbage.
So they go. We talk about Arnold Schwarzenegger. Carl, much like self-proclaimed feminist men, has come through harsh self-examination and listening to women in his life to realize the damage he has caused and is attempting to help undo it. Because he's a Terminator, killed John Connor. Even when Sarah, overwhelmed when she meets him, he is the murderer of her son, tries to fight him, he passively accepts her anger and retaliation. He also presents an interesting dilemma that women must contend with on a daily basis. In Terminator 2, Sarah spends most of the film allied with the Terminator, only as we learn in the beginning of the film to have a man or a machine wearing the same face murder her child. And the way that women talk about Schrodinger's rape, oh my God. I can't. Carl represents the fear and anxiety women experience every time they interact with men. Will he be good? Will he be violent? Will the good man suddenly turn violent? It's impossible to know until he does. Carl is Schrodinger's Terminator. He must continually prove to them that he is safe and he will help them survive.
Now, I will say as a woman, sometimes you do have to wonder, you know, what someone's intentions are. I mean, there's some people that you can tell and other people you can't. And it is something you have to worry about.
Don't you tell them about the beatings.
Don't even joke. Someone will think you're serious.
Don't you tell them about that.
I'm sorry I hit you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You mean beatings, you mean me kicking your butt. But no, I mean, seriously, as a woman, though, I mean, a lot of women understand this. You go places, especially like places like cons or stuff where there's a lot of interesting individuals, both male and female, by the way. And you don't know what you're going to get with some of these people. And some of these people can just be really weird. So, I mean, that is true on some level. It is something that you have to always worry about if you're a woman. That's true. But this is kind of, you know, I'm tired of having to drag this out every time, you know.
So, I don't know. I mean, was it a slow news day or what? Because
I mean, this article is like all over the place.
Basically, the movie is trash, but it's acceptable trash because it has a feminist message. Is that what?
That's basically what they're saying.
Is that what I'm getting from this?
And the Terminator, the original Terminator, has understood how he's a bad man, and he needs to check his toxic masculinity.
Yeah, pretty much. And he has to constantly prove he's safe. He has to constantly remind these women that he's a good guy.
Like, you know, I don't even know what's up with this.
Oh, that was a whole nother article on a whole nother website. Slate said that there was lesbian love in the air in Terminator Dark Fate.
Of course there is, because, you know,
so
women can't just be friends.
No.
What a crazy idea that is. Anyway.
Why can't we be friends?
Because, you know, if you use the word feminism, that automatically means that, you know, there has to be, you know, going on.
That's, yeah.
Because, you know, feminism actually means equality and things like that, but not now. Not now. That's not what it means.
Well, I'm glad somebody enjoyed it because not nearly enough
people hated it.
Saw it. They hated it, but so let me get this straight. So okay, I'm trying. This is kind of the same. We're having the same problem with comics and stuff too, where we give bad entertainment a pass because the moral is more important than the movie or the comic.
It's because they have boobs, or because they're the right gender or the wrong gender.
That's what I'm saying.
The right race, or whatever. And it's like, and I'm sorry, but that's what it is. These are untouchable things you can't say anything bad about, even if it's absolute shit.
So this is a very good example of why movies like this continue to get made, why comics like this continue to get made. Because it can be terrible on every level, but as long as it passes the Bechdel test, it's acceptable.
You're wrong. This is for the children. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's garbage and it's inserting gender politics, it's clearly for the children.
This rocket launcher is for the children.
Star Wars, it's not for you. It's for the children. I remember that when people are getting decapitated, disemboweled, whatever, with the lightsaber.
It's for the children.
It's for the children. She-Ra, it's like, it is just chock full of gender and identity politics, but it's for the children. But Terminator Dark Fate, it's really high feminist and everything, so I'm waiting for that to be, it's not for you. It's for the children.
Well, it's definitely not for Terminator fans, and I don't think James Cameron would have.
Apparently, it's not for anybody. That's
it's
why
not for anybody.
So
That's the problem. Like, no, this is a movie nobody wanted, nobody cares about, and the only reason it's even newsworthy now is of the colossal amount of money it lost, and the fact that the MarySue.
No, they're trying to find good things about it to try to push it. Meanwhile, the Joker's breaking how many records at this point?
They think the Joker is actually going to hit $1 billion on a $55 million budget. Mm-hmm. This movie cost $200 million to make,
and they're going to lose $120 million.
At least $120 million.
So I'm just saying.
Just putting that out there, but they, sites like the MarySue tried very, very hard to get people to stay away from the Joker.
And then they didn't. And then they're trying very hard to, even though this movie's garbage, but get about feminism, go see it.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting
out
of this.
We all burned our bras. It's just,
with rocket launchers.
I mean, you think the fact that they might have lesbian undertones would get men there anyway.
She doesn't.
She doesn't need to. She's lucky. I'm jealous.
Jeez, but I'm
seriously jealous of that. I wish I had that problem.
I'm scratching my head as to why the MarySue is still a thing.
Well, that's okay. You could worry more about. I can't stop thinking about Pornhub's Halloween statistics
with Pennywise making that face.
Mm-hmm. So there's that. So anyway,
keep Pennywise away from your children. Keep them away from your children. All right, we're gonna wrap this one up.
Please.
All right, somebody needs to put it out of its misery. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants here on Clownfish TV. This has been Neon and Geeky.
Bye.
Goodbye. Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.